All right, guys, if you haven't watched my best penny stocks to buy now, you absolutely should. For immediate value, it's there waiting for you. The next best thing, you'll need this to support it, and that's market bias, talking about what we saw in the market today, what we could potentially see tomorrow, and how it could turn into something wildly bullish that puts us to new all-time highs for the stock market in the month of June. I got my fingers crossed, and I'm pretty darn optimistic about this one, but it depends a lot on what we see over the next several days and through next week. So guys, without further ado, I do want to get into the charts. By the way, I share all this information over at the Discord. Links in the description, 50% off your first month when you sign up. Check out that penny stock video. Trust me, you're not going to be sorry. So let's pop this up. So QQQ, what do we see today? From this morning, I said today should be a good day. It was. And man, oh man, we rode up. We closed this thing. Actually, let's talk about open. We opened at 516. We closed almost 1% up from there, closing at 521-ish. So 521 and change, right darn near these peaks. I said we had to get over them if we're going to have further bullishness. Why the heck did we stop so short of that? Well, one reason we stopped short is that we have Fed minutes coming up for us tomorrow, 2 p.m. Be on the lookout for it. Going to be a huge catalyst. If the market's up by that point leading up into it by about 115, 130, be on the lookout for some sort of drawdown to be happening or some just wild volatility to be happening right around that 2 o'clock release period. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. In the meantime, we need to get up on top of, let me put these lines up here for you. We'll ignore some of these shorter lines that I had on here. That was for my day trading, which by the way, 26% up, 42% up. If you haven't watched the penny stock video, the best penny stocks by now, watch it, check it out. You'll like it. 523 is the number to sit on top of. If we do, we have that clear shot at 540. That's what we're looking at, and we might have the means to get there. We have an important 2 weeks coming up. SPY, how'd we do today? Man, we had a wild, this bottom wick that you see on here was just instantaneous, just a whipsaw moment that happened, and then it was over. The market couldn't even barely react to it. Probably some sort of liquidity pocket or something like that happened momentarily, and then just ripped right back up again. So where we opened today, where did we close? We opened today at 586. We closed at 591. So pretty darn good. Once again, about shy of a 1% movement from open to close. Definitely a massive movement, up 2% overall from the day before. We got to break up over 596 in order to have a shot at the all-time high for this one. And the all-time high happens to be at 611.39. And I'm not sure what happened to my horizontal line, so we'll put it back on here for you. There we go, 611.39. That's the number to beat for SPY. Well, that's the number that we're going to get you for all-time high. I should say the number to beat is 596. That gives us the shot at that 611.39. And when we go to IWM, the Russell 2000 stocks, I said before we got that gap filled, I'm just going to get rid of that because we don't need it there. The number to get on top of, one resistance that we have is 209.27, but we actually peaked out higher than that since that time. The number to beat is 210. We sit on top of 210. We got a clear shot at much further upside. The sky could be the limit here, and I talked about possibly hitting that 248 number up here. Matter of fact, I'll put it on the screen for you. Let me snag a price note, and we're going to click that. Boom, there you go, 248 if the inverse head and shoulders hits. And we have a number of factors. I think now is actually a really good time to talk about the catalyst that we have coming up. Fed minutes, 2 p.m. tomorrow. GDP, 8:30 on Thursday. We also have initial jobless claims to pay attention to, but the bigger labor market news is actually next week. We want to be watching for, well, ISM services are earlier in the week, but we also have JOLTS, non-farm payrolls, then we also have unemployment rate. All those are next week. So this week, though, Fed minutes, 2 p.m., GDP, 8:30 on Thursday. Friday at 10 p.m., we have, 10 p.m., 10 a.m. is when we have Michigan consumer sentiment. 8:30, we have PCE that comes out with the personal income and outlays. And that's also going to wildly affect what we see from the Atlanta Fed GDP Now numbers as well. That's going to be a big update for us. And I talked about my 4 pillars that lead to shiny, propped up markets, if you will. So high GDP is one of the things. So we might get a revision. Hopefully it's to the upside, but if it's down, it's not as big a news as what we could see for Q2. I think that's going to be the bigger impact from that. The Fed minutes, are they going to talk about inflation? We're going to see a lot about recession, uncertainty. As long as they don't talk wildly about some sort of massive instability, I think we're in good shape. I think it's going to turn out to be a whole lot of nothing. So I'm hoping that we draw down wildly before it. We get the Fed minutes and then nothing really happens and the market goes back up to what it was before. That could be a really wonderful opportunity to trade to the upside. And everybody likes being bullish. At least I do. So I'll say, everybody, what the heck? GDP, like I said, we'll see what revision we get. I'm guessing that it's going to be okay. I think that we'll probably be around where we're at right now. It could be a little bit lower. We'll be fine. A little bit higher. Even better if it goes positive, by the way. If it goes positive and the Atlanta Fed GDP now when it updates for Q2 from the personal income and outlays, if that also goes up, I think last I looked it was about 2.4%, but if that also goes up, the further we move away from things like recession, the further we move away from things like runaway inflation, the more that we don't have to sweat tariff news, which we saw what happened last week. And then over the weekend, it was like 50%. And I was like, we'll wait till July 9th. And the market was like, wow, okay, fine. Yeah, let's go. Party on. So that's exactly what happened. So what could happen from where we're at right now from more of a macro perspective in the markets? I honestly think that we're not going to be surprised in an alarming or bad way. I mean, Michigan consumer sentiment maybe might have some impact, but it's also the last of those reports that we get. So if everything else is all sunshine and rainbows leading up to that point in time, that doesn't really tell us that the market has anything immediately to worry about. It doesn't give any immediate flags. It's like everything's okay right now. I think the market is going to act like it's okay right now. And I think that sends us up towards closer to all-time highs, barring other news that we get like next week with the labor market that we see. But once again, no bad news. The market's just going to carry on in its direction the way that we see it going right now, which is up. At least that's what I'm banking on. That's my perspective on it. You guys can let me know what you think down in the comments. So guys, over at the Discord, I talked about this before. Like I said, links in the description, 50% off your first month when you sign up using my link. Use the code word DOCTOR. Sign up for the earner tier. That's where you get that 50%. Guys, 1,000 members over there already. A whole team of panel experts over there. Stockmo is also over there, live trading, which I plan to join him in that live trading sometimes this summer. It once works out for me as I am a teacher. Works out, do some of the live trading along with him. I think that it's a good time. I think you guys will enjoy what you see over there, the information that you hear, and everybody likes the opportunity to make more money. So guys, links in the description. Also, Stockmo Academy, there's a link in the description for that. Stockmo being a personal friend of mine, shared an affiliate link with me for the options course that he and Mrs. Mo put together and the technical analysis trading course. I am a career educator, 17 years, and earned doctorate in the field and with instructional technology being my master's degree, educational technology being a concentration of my doctorate. And I can tell you, vetting those courses myself, they are so solidly put together. I fully endorse them and stand behind them. I even have some parts in the technical analysis course where you can go and you can see what I have to say within that course itself. And guys, why not support yourselves in that journey towards financial freedom? And if you want our help supporting you in that, come on over to the Discord. Like I said, links in the description. So without further ado then, let's just take a look at Nvidia quickly. We'll take a look at Tesla too, just to give a little bit more flavor in this video here. So Nvidia, right now stuck between support and resistance between 133 and 136, almost 137. Nice move today. Very nice move, up about 3%. Earnings tomorrow in the after hour. I wouldn't be surprised to see us pushing on this 136 number. We're going to have to see what the rest of the market does. I said last week, market goes down, Nvidia goes down. Market goes up, Nvidia goes up. And that's pretty much where we found ourselves so far. No real surprises. I still have my eyeballs on 143. I don't know that we'll hit that all in a single day. Something amazing would have to happen. But more amazing things have happened. So that might be a post-earnings thing. But if it is a post-earning thing and we go up that high, I'm thinking that our eyeballs should go closer to 149 or maybe even 155, 157. If earnings are a little bit sour, we would be watchful for 118. If it's really sour, 105. So in terms of Nvidia earnings, what do I think is going to happen? Well, I'm going into Nvidia earnings with more of a bullish bias, but I'm a long-term investor in Nvidia. I hold it directly in my long-term portfolio. So of course, I believe that long-term that it's going to be a bullish thing for them. But I also think with the trade sanctions subsiding, I think we're going to hear some exciting things from Nvidia. There's been also a lot more talk about investments into sovereign AI as well, which is something that I talked about in my previous videos on Nvidia. We'll see if this also continues to pan out. For Tesla, there we go. Pop this up here for you. How did we do on Tesla today? We actually popped out of the top of resistance, finally broke 357. We closed today at 362. Guys, we have a green light now up to 373 or even better, 384 to 392, I think is where we could actually go. Market bias has to be with it, and that's why I wanted to start this video by talking about market bias for you. I am on the optimistic side for where we could go throughout the month of June. I think that retesting that all-time high is going to be important for us. Putting in a new all-time high is going to be important for us. I'm a little bit more skeptical about July. but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, if you will. Guys, check out the links in the description for the Discord, for Stockmo Academy. Support yourself in that journey towards financial freedom, building alpha in your portfolio. And with the Discord, let us do our part in helping you along in that process. Thanks for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.